Good afternoon, Virgo. Welcome to my channel, Virgo. Thank you so much for being here. You need to hear this because what's about to be revealed to you is going to shift everything you thought you knew about your current situation. Multiple major positive developments are converging simultaneously in ways that will fundamentally upgrade your quality of life. And the scale of improvement is so significant that your current framework for understanding what's possible for you can't even fully conceptualize how different your daily experience is about to become. You're operating from baseline of scarcity, struggle, or limitation that's been your normal for so long. You've stopped imagining dramatically different reality, but dramatically different reality is forming right now. Actively building, about to land in ways that make current circumstances look like dress rehearsal for actual life that's finally beginning. Let me break down exactly what's converging and why the combination creates jackpot instead of just improvement. First element, new home. Not just different address, but actual upgrade in living situation that changes your daily environment, your sense of safety and comfort, your ability to rest and recharge, your capacity to invite people into your space without embarrassment or stress. Maybe you've been in a situation that's toxic, cramped, unstable, expensive relative to quality, or just fundamentally wrong for who you are and what you need. That situation is ending. Replacement is appearing. That's not lateral move, but significant improvement. Better location, more space, lower cost or better value for cost, safer neighborhood, more aligned with your actual lifestyle and preferences, environment where you can actually thrive instead of just survive. For some of you, new home is literal relocation, moving to different city or neighborhood that you've wanted to be in but couldn't access financially or logistically until now. Barriers that made move impossible are dissolving, path is opening, timing is aligning. For others, new home is upgrade within current location, apartment, or house that's available when you're ready. That's significant. Step up from current situation. Either way, your physical environment, the space you wake up in, come home to, spend your private time in, is about to improve in ways that affect everything else about your life. Environment shapes mood. Living somewhere you actually want to live instead of somewhere you're tolerating because it's what you can afford changes baseline happiness dramatically. Let's pause here. This reflection invites you to consider, what about your current living situation drains you most, and what would ideal home situation provide instead? Maybe current place is too expensive, consuming too much of income and creating constant financial stress. Ideal situation would cost less relative to income, creating breathing room and budget. Or current place is unsafe crime, dangerous landlord, toxic roommate, unstable structure. Ideal situation would provide actual security where you can relax instead of staying on guard. Or current place is isolating, wrong location, far from people and activities that matter to you, making social connection difficult. Ideal situation would position you near community, near work, near life you want to live, or current place just doesn't fit who you are, too small, wrong aesthetic, doesn't accommodate your lifestyle. Ideal situation would feel like home instead of like temporary accommodation you're enduring. Whatever your current limitation is, new home coming addresses it, and addressing it creates cascade of positive effects across rest of life. This reflection invites you to consider, how would having home you actually love, instead of just tolerate, change your overall well-being? Second element, more money, not modest increase, not gradual improvement. Significant jump in income or resources that changes what's financially possible for you. This could manifest several ways depending on your situation. Raise or promotion that increases salary by enough to actually feel different. New job that pays substantially more than current one. Business or side income finally reaching level where it's serious money, not just supplemental. Or windfall inheritance, settlement, bonus, sale of asset, tax refund larger than expected, debt forgiveness that functions like income because it frees up cash flow, or a combination of smaller increases across multiple streams that collectively create significantly higher total income. The key is that increase is enough to change your financial reality, not just make it slightly less tight, enough to eliminate certain categories of stress, enough to create actual choices instead of just managing with slightly more comfort. You're going from, can I afford this, being constant question, to, can I afford this? Having clear yes answers for things that matter. And increased money combines with new home in powerful way. Because new home that's better environment might actually cost less than current situation if you're currently overpaying for inadequate housing, which means more money plus lower housing cost creates double improvement in financial breathing room. Or new home costs slightly more, but increased income makes that cost easily manageable, whereas it would have been impossible before. Either way, housing and income are synchronizing to create stability instead of constant financial precarity. This reflection invites you to consider, what would you do with extra money if housing was handled and income increased? Save it, invest it, spend it on quality of life improvements, or combination. Third element, stability. This is perhaps most valuable element for people who've been living in chaos, uncertainty, or constant crisis management. Stability means you can plan, can make commitments knowing you'll be able to keep them, can invest in things that pay off over time instead of only being able to focus on immediate survival, can build instead of just coping. Financial stability comes from increased income plus decreased or better managed expenses, creating consistent buffer instead of constantly riding edge of disaster. Housing stability comes from being in place you can stay with lease or ownership that's secure, without threat of eviction or forced relocation or landlord drama. Emotional stability comes from reduced stress that financial and housing stability create. When survival needs are met reliably, nervous system can actually relax instead of staying in constant threat response mode. And relaxed nervous system thinks more clearly, makes better decisions, has energy for things beyond crisis management. Relational stability often improves when other forms of stability increase, because you're not constantly stressed, not constantly in survival mode, not bringing chaos energy into interactions because your life isn't chaotic anymore. Professional stability improves because you can focus on actual work instead of being distracted by financial anxiety or housing problems or constant life disruptions. Stability is boring compared to dramatic breakthroughs, but stability is foundation, and foundation is what lets you actually build instead of constantly rebuilding after collapses. This reflection invites you to consider, what would you build or pursue if you had stable foundation instead of unstable one? The fourth element, and this is important, one you might not be considering, happiness you don't even realize you'll experience. Right now, you're probably imagining how better home and more money and stability would feel, and you're probably underestimating the actual impact because you've adapted to struggle, you've normalized stress, you've accepted limited joy as just how life is for you. Your baseline for happiness is low because your circumstances have kept it low. So when you imagine improvement, you're imagining feeling somewhat better, less stressed, more comfortable. That's what your current framework allows you to conceptualize. But what you can't fully grasp from current position is how dramatically different daily experience becomes when housing is good, money flows properly, and stability is real. You'll wake up not immediately stressed about bills. You'll come home to space you actually like being in. You'll make decisions based on preference instead of pure necessity. And those changes aren't just practical improvements, they're joy generators. Joy that comes from having people over without embarrassment. Joy that comes from buying something you want without guilt spiral. Joy that comes from knowing next month will be okay because resources are adequate. Small joys, daily joys, sustainable joys that compound into baseline happiness that's so much higher than what you've been experiencing that you literally can't imagine it from here. You think you know how good it'll feel, but you don't. You can't. Not until you're in it. This reflection invites you to consider, when was last time you felt genuinely secure and content in your living situation and financial position, and how long ago was that? Timing on this convergence varies by person, but general window is close. Some of you are already seeing first pieces appear, job offer received, housing opportunity identified, financial improvement beginning. Others are weeks away from first major piece falling into place. But convergence of all elements, home, money, stability, happens within next few months at most. This is 2026 energy. This is first quarter manifestation for most of you. And pieces tend to cascade once first one arrives. Getting new job makes new housing affordable. Getting new housing creates stability that improves work performance. Increased income allows investments that create more income. Positive changes compound when they're happening across multiple domains simultaneously. What you need to do to prepare for this jackpot arriving. Start looking at housing options, even if you don't think you can afford them yet. Get familiar with what's available. Know what you want, so when financial piece falls into place, you can move on housing immediately instead of starting research from zero. Handle outstanding financial obligations that you can handle now. Don't rack up new debt. Don't make big purchases that drain resources right before increase arrives. Create as clean financial slate as possible so new money can go toward building instead of cleaning up messes. Update resume or professional profiles, even if you're not actively job searching, because opportunity might appear suddenly and you want to be ready to respond immediately instead of scrambling to prepare materials. And mentally prepare for receiving good things without immediately sabotaging them through disbelief or unworthiness programming. When good housing appears, don't talk yourself out of it by deciding you don't deserve it. When money increases, don't immediately create crisis that drains it. When stability arrives, don't manufacture chaos because chaos is what you're used to. Let yourself have this. Let life be good. Let struggle end without creating new struggle to replace it. You remain in complete control of whether you receive this jackpot or whether you sabotage it through doubt, through unworthiness, beliefs, through choices that recreate familiar struggle because growth into ease feels too unfamiliar. The power is yours. It always has been. You may notice reading this has created cautious hope mixed with skepticism. Maybe thinking this sounds too good to be true, or things like this don't happen to me, or I'll believe it when I see it. Whatever you're feeling, honor it. Take what resonates. Softly release the rest. Trust yourself. Before we close, I want to ask you something. If you got jackpot of new home, more money, and stability all at once, what's the first thing you do to celebrate or acknowledge the shift? Drop it in the comments. And this, what belief about yourself or your life would you need to release to actually receive and keep this level of improvement? Jackpot of new home, more money, and stability is converging. And you don't even realize how happy you'll be because current circumstances have trained you to expect struggle, to accept limitation, to imagine improvement in modest terms instead of jackpot terms. But jackpot is exactly what's arriving, and your job is preparing to receive it without sabotaging it. Not eventually, within months, already organizing itself. Trust yourself with this. Trust that you deserve comfortable home. Trust that you're capable of managing increased money responsibly. Trust that stability won't make you complacent. It'll make you effective. Trust that happiness is allowed to be your baseline instead of occasional visitor. See you in the next one, and listen, when jackpot lands, don't minimize it. Don't immediately start waiting for disaster to balance the good. Don't refuse to enjoy it because you're scared of losing it. Just receive it and build on it and let your life be transformed into version where struggle is memory instead of constant reality. Stay ready, stay worthy, stay open. Your jackpot is forming. Prepare to receive it. Take care.